In this part 3 video on Datasmith Import Component plugin, I'm going to go ahead and proceed further with all the features of this plugin and how to use it on your projects the most efficient way. Once you purchase this plugin, you'll get this plugin and this template project. After you have installed the plugin, you have to go ahead and prepare the max scene as I just explained in the last video. After that is done, you have to go ahead and open the project, which is template project, which you will be getting along with the plugin. So once you open the project, you will get something like this. So after you get something like this, all you have to do is you have to go to plugin now. So in the template project, most likely the plugin will automatically and already be enabled for you because you have purchased the plugin. That means you have the plugin, and then this template plugin will be activated. But for some reason, if the plugin is not activated, all you have to do is after you have installed the plugin as shown in the last video, you will go ahead and click on the plugin, and then there will be 3D arc steps, and then you have to go ahead and enable Datasmith Post Import Tools. So you'll have to enable it and then restart your Unreal Engine template project, right? And now why we will be using this template project? So you can go ahead and see here with all these features. So you will have all these features if you have this template project, which you will be getting for free along with the template, and anyhow you can get it for free from the website. Correct. The biggest reason of using this template project is when you go to 3D Arc Steps folder and when you go to master material, so 3D Arc Steps folder, master material, and you go inside it, you have 3 master material. You have all other master material also, which will be helpful for you in your projects, but for this plugin, these 3 are absolutely necessary: master opaque, master emissive, and master glass, which I will be showing you further very soon, right? So all these 3 plugin you have to have, and the template project you have opened, which you have got along with the plugin purchased, or you can also go ahead and download it separately if you want, but since you have purchased the plugin, you will be getting this, correct? Okay, so once we have understand this template project and the 3 master material present inside it, now let's continue with this one. So you will have to go ahead and if you remember, we have already exported the Datasmith file, prepared the max file according to what I explained. You already have purchased the plugin, you have already template file, you have opened it, activated the plugin, and now you have all these 3. Now it's time to import your object in the scene, right? So for that, you will have to go ahead and go to file, new level, and then click on empty level and click create. Once you click create, now you go ahead, click new, and then make a folder named as import, right? Import. And then when you can go ahead and rename this properly if you want, import, right? Make sure this import sub level is active, and then you go here in Datasmith in this template project. Datasmith plugin is already activated. Since you have installed the plugin, you will see an extra option here, import asset default, right? So you can just go ahead and click on file import, but before clicking on file import, you have to go ahead and click on import asset. The moment you click on it, this plugin interface will be there for you, right? So here, let me give you a brief about the settings and then we will go in detail. So you can keep it disabled. So if this is disabled, so if you go ahead, click on this import and switch this off, and then go ahead and click on import, it will just import that as if this plugin is not there. So it will raw default Datasmith way the file will be imported, nothing will be happen. But if you go ahead and make it active and then click on file and then click on Datasmith import, right? And now if you go ahead and then click on import, so if this is active and then you are importing, sorry, if this is not active and then go ahead and click on import, everything will be imported as the default, like this plugin is not there. But if you go ahead and enable this, then everything will be taken considered. So enable this and then click file, then click Datasmith import, and then all the things which I just explained will start happening. This workflow, this entire workflow, plugin workflow will start being implemented if you go ahead and enable this. So what is this? It is apply on re-import. So if you enable this and activate this, so it will always work on re-import. So if you right click and then re-import any object, it will apply the same logic. Save modified asset after all the LODs are created and the materials are routed and the Nanite is enabled. Everything this plugin will be doing, the assets will be saved, so you don't have to save it yourself. The asset will be automatically saved. So I will prefer keeping these two options on along with plugin enabled every time. Pivot, it can center the pivot at the bottom, right? But since we have already done it in Max itself, we don't need to activate it. If you have not done in Max, you can go ahead and activate this plugin and it will exactly do the same. It will center the pivot on X and Y and make it the pivots to the bottom. But since this activity has been already performed in Max, we don't need to switch it on, right? Then asset organization, this is very important, right? So I will go ahead and explain. As of now, I will go ahead and explain only the important settings which you should be enabling at any cost while you implement at the first instance. Later on, this plugin goes more in depth and more in detail and more in feature, but as a beginner, all you need to do is you need to enable this, enable this, enable this, and then in the asset organization you have to enable collect imported assets per mesh folder, right? Let me explain you what will happen just a bit, right? So suppose this is a coffee table, right? And then this coffee table has this texture and then this texture and a color, right? So three material IDs are there, two texture are being used, right? If this option is enabled, right, then when the import will happen, Unreal Engine will create a folder named as coffee table 000, and inside that folder this static mesh will be present, these two texture will be present, and the three material instances which this object actually uses will be present. So a folder with the static mesh, material instance and the textures will be present. That will help if in case if plugin has not understand what the parameter and not rerouted the texture parameter perfectly, sometime it misses, then it will be very easy and evident for you to see what texture is being on that object, because that texture will be along with the same object and it will be inside the same folder. So even if the material texture is missing on the material instances, texture is right there in beside the object, which will make you very clear that what texture you need to go ahead and apply on that material instance, even if it has missed, right? So this is very important. Now this one, limit imported texture size to 2K. So let me explain what this does is, suppose in the Max file some texture might be 4K, 6K, 8K, 16K, 12K. Sometimes this happens, right? And most of the time there are textures at 4K. But for a real time and interactive experiences, 4K textures and 8K textures and sometimes 12K textures are not viable, right? So this option should be enabled, and it will ensure that no matter what the resolution size is, if the texture resolution is above 2K, it will reduce the texture size to 2K, and that will also be modular. That means it will be reducing the texture size to 2K for game, not actual. So that means you can go ahead and revert back to the actual resolution any point of time you want, or for the game it will be optimization. If you want to reduce the size of the project, then actually you will have to go ahead and reduce the texture resolution in inside the content browser, which is very easy. Maybe I will show you later, but the point is, for game every texture will be reduced to 2K even if it is K, but in actually it is 8K for you. If you want, you can go ahead and make it 4K or 6K if you need, so you are not losing things out because of enabling this. It is helping you to optimize the scene for real time, but still giving you, keeping the possibilities to your hand to go ahead and change the resolution according to geometry optimization. Apply triangle based geometry automation, so it will reduce the, it will keep no reduction below the triangle count 10,000, so just keep it enabled. Then enable nanite on translucent meshes, so it will, you go ahead and enable the nanite after the triangles are reduced if the object are having only opaque material like emissive, masked or opaque. And then create LOD, translucent LODs. So it will go ahead and, if you remember in the first video I said, it will go ahead and separate the part of the meshes with glass material, and then object, it will also separate the object which is having glass material but also are instance, and then it will create LODs on those objects, right? And the number of object, everything is controllable and able, you will be able to set it up. You want to skip this, just switch it off. You want to skip this, switch it off. You want to skip this, switch it off. Everything is very configurable and modular. If you want to set 4 LODs, 2 LODs, 3 LODs, just set it up here and everything will be done. You want to reduce the keep the object intact under 5K, just change this to 5K. Everything you want to set, right, as it is. So 10,000 I have explained in the first part. If you have been following along, you will remember. Otherwise you can go ahead and watch in the first video what I just explained about the triangle reduction, right? So this option is in compulsory, you should enable it, and then save triangle automation assets. So all the triangle reduced assets will be saved after it's being done. Apply apply material type master material. So this is, you have to keep it on. Split translucent material slot to meshes. So if you switch it off, it will not split the meshes with translucent material. If you keep it on, it will split the meshes with translucent material. Auto separate by material type. So it will also separate by material type. So automatically routes scene actor into sub levels by detected material type. So what it will do is, it will create 3 different levels, one sub levels, one named opaque, one named emissive, and one named translucent. So it will put all the object with opaque on opaque level, then emissive on emissive level, and all the object with translucent or glass material on glass level. And what are the 3 master material which it is going to be using? You have to set it up here. So you have to go here and add this on opaque, add the emissive on emissive, add the glass on glass. So these are the 3 master material which you have to apply here. And then this ISM like instance conversion, this is not mandatory, you can do it manually later on, it is very easy. So I will recommend not enabling it, but this plugin can do that. That means all the object with non-glass material, it will convert to ISM, and all the object with glass material, it will convert to HISM. So I will not recommend enabling it, but you can go ahead, and the plugin has that feature and you can go ahead and enable it. This is important, the material routing names. So what you have to do is, you have to enable this and then enable this, and after enabling this, you just have to add your master opaque material on the first one. Just do that. And this is like I'm explaining what are the most important features you should be activating at the first instance. So just activate these 2 and then apply this master material opaque. That's it, and you don't need to do anything for now. Maybe in another video I will explain how this is amazing and how this can be used, but as of now you can go ahead and just enable this and add this master material opaque here also. Okay, so this is also important tool which you should, important options which you should be activating. Then Nanite, for now not mandatory, skip it for now. I will be explaining in maybe later video. Same here, Just skip this, all this. You can go ahead and test them yourself if you have time, but even if you don't test them, it's okay. I will explain everything in detail in further videos. Here you have to enable this material deduplication material instance. So you have to switch it on and then you have to switch it off. So this one will be off. So what it does is detect and merge identical material instances created during import to reduce draw calls and project folder clutter. And those deduplicated material will be deleted to keep the project clean. You don't need to use them, because like save them, because you don't need them. So I will switch it off, and this one is off by default. Switch it on and then switch it on. Then hierarchy flattener, flatten hierarchy. So if you hover, remove empty parent, dummy, helper, actor from outliner hierarchy while preserving children's word transformation, and delete empty dummy actor. Yes, so by default it will be like this. So you have to switch it on and then switch it on. And then lightmap UV auto UV optimization, it's also insanely helpful, but for later videos I will turn. So absolute important settings are this: enable reply on import, say modified asset, collect imported mesh per folder, limit texture size to 2K. Since you are going to experience the project in real time, it's important. Then switch this on, the on, and then this, all this on. And then here in material, keep this off, and then in the material switch this on, and then here in the tag just apply the material master material. Okay, and then in material deduplication, switch this on, switch this off, then flatten hierarchy, switch this on and this off. So these are the basic settings which you should be enabling if you have prepared the max scene according to what I explained in video 2. That is, based on this 4-point, reduce the number of objects in the scene, make object as instance, rename object, set the power to center. And if you want to see the entire process, you can see the video on my YouTube, which I have prepared and posted. Okay. So I hope this gives you what are the mandatory settings which you should be enabling once you have this plugin activated. So I will go ahead and continue further in the next video. Till then, have a great time.